RS Mapper. It is a third-party software that a guy named Avantar made, and it's just a key binding software. So it makes it real easy to bind everything, all your button boxes and everything like that, to the sim. What you'll be using is keyboard commands in RS Mapper. So anything that you want to map in the sim, you'll have to associate with a keyboard command. But then you just put that keyboard command in RS Mapper and associate it with your physical controller, your button that you wish. And the nice thing about RS Mapper that it does that DCS doesn't do natively is you can address actions based on short press, long press, and release.
Oh, nice.
And you can also create sequences. So, for example, if you want to just, like, speaking to the Thrustmaster Warthog for a second, the throttle, if you wanted the APU switch on it to turn on the electrical power and close the cockpit and, I don't know, turn on the APU, it's all crazy, right? You can set up a sequence where it will do all of that as well. You can set up delays and durations. It's pretty awesome piece of software.
Yeah, sounds like it.
And it's free.
Yeah,
Well,
I use the FSUI PC, the same thing basically. And,
Yeah,
I kind of like that part better. It's free.
Yeah, besides, this the other one is free, but in FSUI PC, besides these command and group commands, you can also make the so-called flags. You can program, for example, on the first press, do this. On the second press, if this is turned on, then this goes on or off. On the third press, if this is on, this off, then this on, and etc. etc. So you can do insane things.
Okay, now I'm grouped with you guys.
What was that? Sorry, I wasn't using my push to talk. What'd you say?
It says, now I'm grouped with you guys. I was a little bit further away from you.
Oh, nice. Welcome to the pack, man. Were you using FSUI PC with DCS World?
Yeah, that's what I use.
I didn't even know you could use it with DCS.
Neither did I.
Although, if memory serves, actually it does allow for keyboard command.
It should technically work.
I didn't think about that.
I think almost every add-on, well, almost anything good uses FSUFS. You know, I mean, they all.
It's flight simulation inter-process connect protocol.
Yeah, it's just a way to connect to talk to the simulator software.
Yeah, mostly my problem with the DCS setup is taking the time to do it. The one thing I did like about it is it actually identifies all the Arduino micros by their serial numbers, which is unique to all these programs.
Hey, what's your first name, Overkill?
My name is Mike, senor. My name is Mike.
Hi, Mike. You know what you should review? You should try review self-loading cargo. I think that's a promising piece of software.
You know, a lot of people have brought that one up to me, and I keep letting it fall under the desk. So give me a second. Let me find my notepad here.
You have to buy it, but I have it. It's very cheap. And he's coming up with an update fairly soon that's going to be unbelievable, more than what it is now.
Oh, I don't worry about payment. I don't care. If it's good, I buy it.
What was that called again?
Self-loading cargo.
Yeah. It's basically like an airline simulation. You could pick a bunch of different sound packs like Delta, US Air, whatever. I use Delta because that's who I used to fly for anyway. But
oh damn, cool.
So it's got this, flight attendants doing announcements and all that stuff, and not just that. You have to actually do things in procedures if you were actually flying an airline. You have to manage the crew and all that stuff, and yeah, pretty cool. I'm retired, of course. I'm 58 years old. I haven't flown in like 15 years, so.
Yeah, thanks. Well, I gotta check that out.
Not commercially, anyway.
What did you fly for?
Delta. I was just doing shuttles from Boston to New York. I didn't do overseas.
That's cool. What were you flying?
737 Boeing. Was actually doing flights to the Carolinas too, but nothing that would take me out of going home at the same day. I actually got very, very lucky. I was turned down at first when I applied because they like have a hard-on for the military.
Yeah.
I went to New England Aviation, got my pilot's license through them, but that lacks you experience of actually in the real world of actually flying passengers, so they don't like that.
Yeah, they tend to take.
So you have to start off small. So what I did is I got a job in Boston. It was a private jet, Learjet company that would fly CEOs when they come into the country, like Japanese CEOs, and they wanted a private aircraft maybe to go to New York from Boston or maybe to Washington or whatever it is. That I started doing that as a co-pilot, and then I actually got my own actual route because they had specific routine customers too. One of them was Senator Ted Kennedy. We used to take him to Martha's Vineyard from New York.
That's cool.
And this was back in the day, a long time ago, obviously. Then I reapplied and I found somebody that actually was able to open their mouth for me and juice me in a little bit. If it wasn't for that individual, I would have never flown for them.
That's cool.
So I tell anybody, if you ever want to fly for the airlines, don't go the aviation school route. Number one, it costs a lot of money. You'll be paying student loan off for years. Number two, go to military. The military's free, and you'll fly the best of the best. And like I said, they had once they see you're in the military experience, they have an immediate hard-on for that. They'll cater to you like you wouldn't believe.
All I ever wanted to fly was ag.
Never got to fly the Airbus. They had some Airbus, but never got to fly it. Any aircraft that you fly, you have to do specific training for through the company, and get rated for it through them. Regardless of FAA policies, the airlines have their own policies that you have to follow.
No, I was talking about ag flying, crop dusting.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I have friends who do that, and yeah, and also they every spring they are dropping the little balls with the sterilization chemical for foxes and some more species. And actually, they come to me and I program their GPS devices so that whenever they drop every single of those little balls, the GPS writes an entry in a database, and it gets sent via satellite to central database, etc., etc. So, yeah, lots of things, and it is exciting. In fact, it's also dangerous.
Yeah, sounds a lot more laid back though. I mean, when you fly the airlines, it's a lot of stress. I'm telling you.
As everybody's coming in, make sure we're coming in on 24, I believe is the runway out here. So landing in from the east.
Yeah, Roger. 06 is the opposite, so that's wrong. So 24.
Well, this doesn't have a map in it, and doesn't have any kind of autopilot or GPS or anything. So I'm flying, instead of IFR, I'm flying IFY. I thought it
Damn it, Ted.
Well, this it doesn't have any of that built in. So, and
Just the way you said
I don't know where I'm going, but I can always get there in a hurry.
I guarantee you'll be fine.
Oh yeah, I'll get where I'm going.
We'll just do a flyby to see which side is which.
Has any of you ever actually had a pilot's license, private or otherwise?
I had a student license.
I've jumped out of them. Does that count?
Well, I went and soloed on my 16th birthday. 50 years ago. And when I went and took my physical right after that, found out I was colorblind.
I went to a small airline, a small school called the Beverly Flight Center in Beverly. Got my private pilot's license in 46 hours. I believe 40 is the minimum that you have to have. Most people get it 50 or 60. I actually got it 46. Then I wanted to do commercial work, so I had to go to a bigger school. When I found out how much it was going to cost, I was a little bit discouraged, but then I found out that it was college credited and you could get a student loan, so I did that.
PPL and float endorsement.
You got your PPO with your float endorsement? Oh, man.
Yeah, well, of course, you live in Canada, you have to have floats.
Fact. All right. So what's that like, man? What was it like the first time you landed on water?
Well, I was 12 when that happened.
Wow, really? Look at this guy.
I'm
That's
really
awesome,
deep.
man.
Yeah, my dad had his own airplane.
Ah, gotcha. What kind of airplane?
A Fleet Canuck, where there's no electrics. You had to hand crank the prop.
No shit. That is so cool, dude. That is
I actually
so cool.
landed on water with a Cessna 152. Didn't have any pontoons on it or anything. It was an emergency landing.
I was like, wait a minute. I knew it. I was like, there's more coming to this story.
I actually witnessed a guy do the same thing. It was interesting.
I didn't flip it over. I actually hit the tail first.
Ja, kom direct.
And then it went straight to the landing gear, flat right on his belly. Hit my head right on the ceiling. It wasn't pretty, but it did disfigure the wings on the top.
Yeah, I bet.
But it didn't rupture them or anything, which is a good thing. And it actually takes a lot, believe it or not, to actually... Remember when you were talking about how you were flying that acrobatic aircraft, and I said if you actually did that in the real world, you'd be pulling 10 Gs and probably crashing
Oh,
into the
yeah.
ground.
Oh, yeah, I knew that, too.
Right, but and you said probably break the wings off, but it wouldn't. It takes a lot, believe it or not, to break off the wings of an aircraft. You couldn't by overstressing it in the air, by diving or whatever, even as hard as you could. It's just not possible. Those things, if you knew how they were made, it would take it actually impact with the ground.
You just black out first.
Yeah. There's no way you could actually possibly
I thought
break
I
the
read
wings
somewhere
off.
that there was an issue with the initial test version of the Tomcat, where with the wings extended, they had over-G'd it and destroyed the right wing. I thought I had read that somewhere.
Yeah, but it didn't break it off. It has what they call hinges on it for the extension on it,
Right.
and that disconnected.
I see.
It wasn't the steel. These things are made, well, those things I think were made with titanium, but like the 737, I know everything there is about that aircraft. Those wings, the frame steeling on there, they're actually so pure steel that they're x-ray tested to see if there's any air bubbles whatsoever. They're so strong that it would actually take an in-flight crash into the ground to actually break them off. You could not overstress it. And they're kind of built like a bridge. The engineers designed them like a bridge. They're designed to flex and bend. That's why, because think about it, when you hit lots of turbulence and you're doing 300 knots and you drop 20 feet all of a sudden, then you hit solid air, it's almost like hitting, water or something, a really hard surface. That doesn't even overstress the wings. So you got to really understand how strong those things are.
Right. No, I knew that part. I thought with enough, but that makes more sense.
Yeah, but with that aircraft that you're talking about, that is because they had I don't know if they're with if their
I
hinges.
just belly landed.
I don't know. They were kind of like
You forgot your
sockets.
gears.
I did that with the last
I
flight.
totally
but
did.
I actually put the gears down, but it didn't render, and I was just like, "Oh, fail."
I hit G on my keyboard. So you can hit G to bring them up, but you have to hit Control G to bring them down. And whoops! So yeah, there just might or might not be a G58 sitting in the runway. I can neither confirm nor deny, but anybody watching the stream, they can confirm it.
Well, just put your gears down and hit the key Y twice, and then you'll be up and running again.
We need a dustpan on runway
hey, it did.
24.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so I didn't know about the that Y trick.
Yeah, if I do the racing in Australia with the polygon things, you crash a lot, so you don't have to go all the way back to the airport to start up again, so just press Y.
Oh, I can't get the engine to start though. Nah, she still won't start.
Yeah, it's like cold and dark, you do have to start it up again, I guess.
Okay. Everything's on, batteries are on, alternator's on, somebody just flew through me, that was weird.
Ranger, did you say you were a paratrooper and a ranger?
Why is
Yeah, that's part of your requirement to be a ranger.
For Army Rangers? That's cool.
You know, back in the day, the 737 had a defect, which was a hydraulic rudder mechanism that would control when you push on the pedals. It would send fluid through this little baffle thing to activate the rudders. And there was a defect. They didn't know at the time, but they were investigating because there were crashes because planes were diving into the ground. All of a sudden, what would happen is the way the servos worked, it would accidentally have a malfunction, and when you hit right rudder, it would give you left rudder, a full rudder, and it would get stuck there.
Yeah, because the servo would jump out of the. It would be dislodged. Like, is that the thing?
Right, and there's two sides to it, the left and the right. The left side puts the left rudder fluid through, the right side puts the right rudder. And what happens is it gets stuck in one position, and even though if you hit the right rudder, it would move it to the left instead, and it would actually get stuck there. They found that out after a while. It took them a couple of years or something, but they figured it out. But I was actually, to make a long story short, I was actually flying an aircraft that had a defective rudder mechanism.
That was, yeah. When you think back at it.
All right, real quick, guys. So it is time for me to call it a day anyway. I had a great time flying with all of you guys tonight. Thank you so much for joining me. Anyone who was interested, guys, we will be back again with another group flight next Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Be sure to join our Discord, guys. There's you can find the link in pretty much all of our videos. So be sure to join that, guys. And as always, have a wonderful week, and I will see you guys all in the next one. Have a good
All right, remember, Mike.
Thank you.
Self-Mode Chicago review.
Will do.
All right.
Yeah, it was a good belly landing, though, wasn't it? Nate S. in our chat just said, that was a good belly landing, though.
See you later, Mike.
All right,
Good
guys.
night.
Take it easy.
Mike, where do I post
Thanks,
that?
see ya.
Bye bye.
If you can just throw it anywhere in the Discord channel, you a part of the Discord channel?
Not sure.
Are you on our Discord? Oh, yeah, you have to be. You're chatting.
Yeah, you
You should put it in MFS 2020 chat here.
Yeah, I just clicked on it from the YouTube channel, and it would open up my